gentlemen, my name is Daniel Myers, and this is CNBC's Money Team, the show where we talk about gains and losses in American industries. On tonight's episode, we're going to take a look at the track record for the Erie Company of Industry F74830. Specifically, joining us tonight will be Connor Shep, Todd Neal, and Gabby Yarbrough, who are the Marketing, Research and Development, and Finance Department Managers for the company Erie. When we get a chance to talk to those department managers in Erie Company, we're going to take a look at the 8-year period that the Erie Company has been in their industry. At the beginning of that 8-year period in 2015, the company led the industry in a number of metrics, including their stock market price. However, in 2019, the company took a turn for the worse and never quite recovered. So on tonight's episode, we're going to take a look at what happened with direct interviews from those department managers. Joining us first tonight on Money Team is going to be Connor Shep, who is the Marketing Department Manager for Erie Company. Connor has served Erie Company for 8 years. He's been there since 2015. And he's going to talk a little bit about what went wrong specifically in the marketplace for both the low-tech and the high-tech segments. So take it away, Connor. Tell us what went wrong in 2019.
Thanks for having me, Daniel. Well, I think the story is, in the first 3 years of operation, Erie Company did very well. We had a high percentage of market share in both the high-tech and the low-tech segments, and that was in our first 3 years of operation. And we came into 2019 a little overconfident, in my estimate, and that led to us over-forecasting our projected sales.
So, Connor, in terms of forecasting, it sounds like Erie Company might have went with the best-case scenario rather than the worst-case scenario. Would you agree to that?
Yes, Daniel, I would absolutely agree with that. I think really after the first 3 years, we came into 2019 really relying on our past success as what was going to happen moving forward, and we really didn't take the proper steps to adjust our products to remain competitive in an evolving market. And that ultimately led to the debacle that was 2019 for Erie Company.
Thanks for joining us, Connor. I'm sorry to hear about your struggles with Erie Company. However, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, and I advocate to you to join us again in the future. Hopefully Erie Company will be doing better then. But have a great night.
You too, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Next on Money Team, we're going to take a moment to talk to Gabby Yarbrough, who is the Finance Department Manager for Erie Company. And she's going to take a moment to talk about some of the metrics such as profits, leverage, and the stock price for Erie Company.
Thank you for having me, Daniel. In 2018, we had great profits, we really had great sales, and in 2019, we really struggled with profits due to a change in our market share, and we expected to really have a high forecast and a lot of sales, but we did not. And this definitely affected our cash flows. This really changed our leverage position. We had a lot more assets left over, which definitely, a lot more assets rather than equity, and this definitely affected how high our leverage was.
So Gabby, it sounds like Erie Company definitely has some struggles financially after 2019, but I'd like to hear you expand a little bit more on the leverage of the company. Could you do that for me?
Yes, Daniel, I could explain leverage for you. In 2019, we had over 1 million of our product EAT left over, which is in the low-tech segment. And in retrospect, this was a lot more of assets than we did have for equity. And this definitely gave us a false positive thinking that we were having a really high leverage, which was pretty good, but in later rounds it was very hard to control the leverage to where we would really want it to be.
Gabby, thanks for joining us tonight. It was great to have you.
Have a great night, Daniel. It was a pleasure being on your show.
Joining us tonight on Money Team for our one-on-one interview is Mr. Todd Neal, who is the Department Manager for Research and Development at Erie Company. Todd has also been at Erie Company since 2015. We've already heard from Gabrielle Yarbrough and Connor Shep, who are the Finance and Marketing Department Managers, but I would like to hear your take on all of this, specifically the 2019 collapse for Erie Company. So what is your take on this whole mess, especially in terms of profit and your company's stock price?
Well, our company really relied heavily on being a profitable company.
Okay.
And to do that, we wanted our stock price to be as high as possible and to just have a net profit as also as high as possible. And going off from that collapse, we never quite hit back. We had a ton of product to eat, and we never really sold as much as we needed to sell after that.
Sure.
And our stock price really hit rock bottom after we took out an emergency loan shortly after that. And we slowly built it up, but we could never pay enough dividends or get enough out of our company to get our stock prices back to where it once was.
Okay, yeah, and I noticed regarding the stock price, Erie Company continued to issue stock despite the low stock price. Do you think that may have hindered the recovery for the company?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But we just needed the money.
Right, yeah, absolutely, the financing. And in terms of profit, on a cumulative scale, I believe that was one of Erie Company's largest prioritized performance metric, correct?
Correct.
So how did Erie Company do in terms of cumulative profit?
Cumulative profit, we hit third in our market out of the 5 other competitors.
Over the last 8 years?
Over the last 8 years, yes. We were third over what we wanted it to be.
Okay, so top 3, that's not terrible, right?
It's not, but it's not what we wanted it to be.
Okay.
We wanted it higher. We didn't really care about where we fell in line with the other competitors. We wanted it just to be a higher number.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're just about out of time here for CNBC Money Team. I would like to thank you, Todd, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brent.
And I hope Erie Company gets their stuff together and gets back on track, because I really think it is a great company that has a large future. So until next time, signing out, Daniel Myers and Todd Neal, CNBC Money Team.